YouTube. Okay, this is Drew. I am back finally after a year hiatus because I decided to pick this up again. So this year I wanted to refocus my life back on my Writer Life series, back on my In Pursuit series, because I think it's something that not only am I like living, but I feel like other people can benefit from it as well. I stopped doing it mainly because of the biggest change that happened in my life, which was moving to Los Angeles. And that kind of changed everything, threw my life out of whack. And essentially I had to kind of, focus on doing that for a while, focus on moving into a new apartment, focus on figuring out LA, just focus on figuring out what I was doing with my job, myself, everything. So I kind of had to put this on the back burner. But now that I have a little bit more time to reflect on things, I'm a little bit more settled in, then I think that now is a good time to start these videos back up. So for this initial one, and I'll do a separate video on like moving to LA and the whole process that comes with that. But for this specific video, I wanted to talk about just the idea of being a writer. Right? Number one, you are not an aspiring writer. You are a writer. Claim your personal power. You know what I mean? Whatever you say you are is what you are. And, it took me forever to really realize that that is something that I needed to do. But number two, write every day. This one is super hard for me, but in actuality, I have a set of goals that I want to achieve, including getting more notes and more feedback for my scripts, writing more movies. Last year I was able to write 2 movies. I wrote a new pilot, and I finished a web series. So for me, that was really dope. But a lot of that came from me just sitting down, focused every day on my computer and writing every single day. I literally, especially when my last job finished, I started writing more consistently, I would say from like 10 p.m. to like 4 a.m. in the morning, because for me, that's just what's worked. Pick a time every day. If you're a morning person, write in the morning. If you're an evening person, write at night, whatever, a couple hours a day, and just make sure you're writing something. Try to do a couple pages, 5 pages, whatever your goal is, whatever your limit is, set that for yourself and do it. Number 3, read scripts. I cannot stress how important reading scripts are. I didn't go to school for screenwriting. I didn't go to school for screenwriting or TV writing, but I wanted to be a screenwriter. But in order to do that, I had to educate myself. So I had to read a lot of scripts. Still, I read constantly scripts all the time. A lot of the websites I go to, I think probably are pretty popular, and you guys can put down below, if you can, in the comments, like different places to get scripts from. But the main places I go are simplyscripts.com. A lot of Oscar-nominated movies or TV shows, they have that there. Also, Zen Scripts. If you put in Google Zen Scripts, Zen Scripts, it's going to be Zen and a bunch of numbers. That literally has pilot episodes for almost, I think probably from back in 2008 until now. Almost every episode, well, I shouldn't say episode, almost every show that's aired that's been a popular show, and even a lot of unpopular shows or shows that weren't even picked up, their pilot scripts are online and you can read them. You can read up on actors, the actresses, the writer themselves, their journey, how they learn to be a screenwriter. Just immerse yourself in scripts. Number 4, look for local events in your city. So I think I think everybody knows that I moved from the Maryland, DC area almost a year ago. And while I was there, they didn't have many resources, I found out for me, or I shouldn't say I didn't have many resources. I think I exhausted the resources that they had. One of the biggest organizations that I was a part of when I was there was Women in Film and Video. And they had regular script reading pages where you would go and you would read, I think it was the first 5 pages of your script. And these were like maybe once a month or so. But if you look into Women in Film and Video, they're a great organization for anyone who wants to get involved in film. So while being out here, I've turned to a lot of WGA, Writers Guild Association events, and also Film Independent, as well as like individual events that I hear about through like my network that I've built out here. even though I moved to LA, I'm still not of the notion that you only have to be in LA to be a writer, to be a screenwriter. You can really write from anywhere, and you can build your network anywhere and create whatever you want wherever you are. I still firmly believe that. And I'll talk in another video about why LA was a personal choice for me. And the fifth thing about being a writer that I think you guys definitely need to pay attention to is make notes of any ideas or concepts that you have wherever you are. If you have a notepad that you use regularly that you enjoy, if you have your phone, I usually, I have my notes section, and anytime I come up with something, I'll jot it down really quick. You don't have to flesh it out. It doesn't have to be a fully seasoned idea. It just needs to be just a little hint or a little seed of something that could grow into something later on. I have such a running list now of different things. It's like, okay, so I'm finished with this script, so I'm going to start working on something else. Where was that other idea that I thought of maybe like a few months ago? Let me go back in my notes. Let me go back in my iPhone and see like what it was. And that to me has helped me, bring back a lot of the ideas and start always having fresh content, always having fresh scripts to work on as a writer. So that's it. That's just, it's very basic, I know, but it's the very little things that when I first started doing this, maybe when I was like 24 years old or something, when I was, mid-20, I'm still, yeah. But you know what I'm saying? When I was younger, like if I had known instead of just starting to do it, I think I wrote my first script in like Word. You know what I mean? Like just not knowing, just being like, oh, I could do this. I have these people in my head. I'm just going to write this script. But it's a few different, it's a little bit of a process just to at least educate yourself on just the basics of being a writer and, just owning it and being okay owning it and just the things you can do to cultivate your passion. Let me know if you guys have questions, because I really want this channel to be dedicated to not only like writing, but, screenwriting, but also being a Black woman and trying to pursue screenwriting in like, an industry that is so vast and it's becoming more inclusive and more diverse. But just let me know some things that you guys maybe are interested in finding out based on my journey, or some things that I could maybe talk more about. If you want to reach me, I'll leave all my contact info below, and that's it. All right, thanks guys.